Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Oh, look at this. This is great. Okay. I think you called it pumpkin. No, Dex. Pumpkin. So it's a photo shot in like beautiful autumn day sunshine. It's basically on the deck. So the wood is like that beautiful kind of exposed wood that was kind of stained, but so it's quite dark and rich. And the colors of the photos are really nice. And the deck is attached to a house with aluminum siding that is roughly the same kind of brownish tone. There are a lot of beautiful browns. Like the colors are great. Your dog is in the background sleeping, half in sunlight, half in shade from a chair. And then what makes the photograph is in the foreground, there's this plastic tub or pot. And on it there's one large pumpkin, and then two smaller sort of decorative pumpkins. And on the ground are two pumpkins again. So let me guess. This is a celebration to Halloween.
Actually, I love fall. It's my favorite season.
Yeah.
And I was coming up the stairs, my deck stairs, and I just happened and it was a really gorgeous, really strangely warm day that day. I think we were in the 70s, which is not common for October here. And
Sure.
I had been outside pushing myself to walk a few more steps around the yard.
Okay.
And I came back and I was pulling myself up the steps because I was pooped out.
Yep.
I saw Dexter sleeping, and it was just at that angle. I was just at this perfect angle, and I went, "Oh my goodness, this is the most peaceful scene." The most peaceful scene. And so I just snapped a picture of it. That's literally all it was to me. It was so peaceful. And look how peaceful this is. So
yeah. Just inspired by the moment, by the perfection of that moment. And
yes, one of those moments that was just perfect and exactly the way it was meant to be. Yes.
Now, okay, so if I'm going to ask you a question that may not, I'm just going to ask it and then you make sense of it. So, what do you understand by, like, how do you explain what it is to have a poetic moment?
Good question. When I feel something in my soul.
Okay.
When something just touches my soul, or brings tears to my eyes, and you just take in a deep breath and go, "Oh my gosh, that's beautiful." And when I'm outside, that happens a lot, and I get very emotional with it. It happened this morning. We got dumped on with snow, absolutely dumped on. So every branch, every single thing outside had snow on it.
Nice.
So everything was blanketed in snow. It was when you stand out, and you know how those winter mornings where it's not light and it's not going to get light because the sky's pretty dark, it's dumping snow, but all the light is coming from the ground, from the brightness of the snow. And everything is kind of like a blue-gray.
Yeah.
You know, you're in this blue-gray light, and it's so quiet.
Yep.
And it's a silence that you can, for me, I can feel it. And when I can feel something like that, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for this.
Nice.
Thank you for my eyes being able to see this amazing thing." And then everything comes into focus. The way the cold air feels as it goes across your cheeks. You know, you can just feel your cheeks getting red because the air is so cold. And watching the snowflakes come down, and each of them are so perfect. Each individual snowflake is so perfectly made. And there's hundreds and hundreds of millions of them coming down around you in their perfection.
Yep.
How amazing is that?
I am so drawn in and so excited and inspired and happy by, so this thing about you, of how you're made and whatever, that so easily brings up this moment of being outside just today with the snow and looking and just noticing all of these different things, being really sensitive to all of these things, in the same way contrasted to this photo of you standing half up the deck, slightly winded, but seeing Dexter sleeping on the deck, having the bright orange of the pumpkins, the blacks, the colors, and then just also being caught in the moment. So, and this is something that I remember. How I didn't listen to our podcast, but this is just saying what I remember in terms of the nuggets of hope, where you're walking around, or you suddenly notice another human being standing there, and you have no idea who they are, and there's just something within you kind of wells up, an emotional response, that you go up to this stranger and you say, "Listen, I don't know who you are, but this is just for you, a little, nugget of hope." And it's interesting, it's fascinating that however you are made is a kind of person who responds to the world with such an emotion and feeling. And that's where the question of like, what is a poetic moment? Because it's kind of like you're this soul who's going through, soul, spirit, human, observer, whatever, going through the world, just kind of observing and receiving. It's unique. I think there are many people like you, like me, who kind of responds like this. But yeah, it's just beautiful.
Empathy, empathetic.
Okay.
I'm ridiculously empathetic.
Right. Right.
And and that feeling so much
Mm-hmm.
can be heavy
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Can be really heavy. And I don't know. I've been so emotional today. I've been so emotional today. It can be really heavy, and I think that's like the picture that you have in front of you with Dexter on the deck. One of the things that caught my attention, first off, because it was just such a peaceful scene, but also the light and the shadow,
Yeah.
the dark and the light are coexisting together to make a pretty picture.
Yep. It's very high contrast.
Yeah, yes, it is. And that was another thing that caught my eye, was the darkness and the light. They're working together perfectly. Why can't that
Mm-hmm.
always be?
No, I hear you.
So I see more in things than most people do.
Sure.
At least I feel like I do. I feel like I see more. I notice more than what people, and I do that. I'll say, "Oh, didn't you?" And they'll be like, "How did you even notice that?" And I'm like, "Well, because I watch. I
Sure.
My
Sure.
eyes are open,
Mm-hmm.
you know. There's so much I think that we as humans just, you're not ignoring it, but you're not paying attention to it either. You'll notice it out of the, it's like you're looking at the world in your peripheral vision,
Right. Right.
because it's too hard and it hurts too much to look at it straight on sometimes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, like, just because, let's just say and this is just a thought, but let's just say that from the moment that you're born, from the moment that your granddaughter was born, up to, like, tack on 70 or 80 years, that whole lifespan is just sort of receiving input and data, like when you, from being a baby to now, to even because you're the kind of highly sensitive person who notices so much, that is, even your PTSD is in fact a reflection of that, right? Of because you absorb so much that, in a sense, your body kind of shuts down or is just overwhelmed, and then the echoes of it is what you're still responding to over time.
The echoes of it. Ooh, I like how you worded that. The echoes. Perfect.
Run with it. There's no question. Now it's your turn to run with it.
Yeah, no, I was saying the echoes. I just found that to be the perfect way to describe so many things.
Sure. So there we so in a sense that very same person who holds that newborn, who sits and paints hope on small pebbles and hands them to people, and that same person who makes the photo of her dog in this beautiful light, and who notices things like the shadow and the striking color contrast of the orange, yellow, black, brown. Like, in a way, it's somebody who has no idea about color theory who looks at this could sort of say, like, wow, like the colors just seem to pop against each other in a way that just are so vivid. Let's just say there's a question. There's no question, but just how do you express that to a person to understand that they too can go in the world and maybe see the world differently?
I think everyone is so busy and so focused on their next step and where they have to be and what they're doing. They're too busy looking ahead to pay attention to the here and now. And they don't let themselves feel it. They don't let themselves experience those moments because they're so busy with all the clutter
Mm-hmm.
that's going on. And they're not looking at anything straight on. It's all peripheral because everything, it's like you're in this fast subway and, and you just see all this blur going by on each side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just going through your day. Oh, got to do this, got to get to work, got to drop off the kids at daycare, got to pick this one up, got to do this, got to get groceries, da, 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 da. And at the end of the day, you lay down, you're like, ugh, tomorrow I got to do it all over again.
Right, right.
And you neglected to pick up any of those little nuggets that were tossed in your path all day long
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't take the time to look. Even if, and I'm always telling people, gosh, I've been there on that rat race, that hamster wheel thing. I did it for years. I know what it's like to be a young mom and a young family. And, it's just constant insanity and run, 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 run. I know that. But I also do remember taking those few minutes just for myself, whether it was 2 minutes or 10 minutes, to go in a room by myself and just breathe,
Mm.
to get outside and just don't think. Just stare at the sky if you need to,
Mm-hmm.
go stand amongst some trees. Just stand in a little copse of trees and take a deep breath.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have like just the language that you're using? So, do you have a kind of history of being exposed to explicit ideas of meditation, be it yoga or be it like whatever it is? Like,
I thought yoga and all that was kind of woo woo.
okay,
I've not experienced it or participated or done any of that. No,
sure.
this is just me spending a lot of time in the woods.
Well, that is meditation, right? Like you're just being aware of where you are, who you are, what's around you, your breath. And there's something very oddly interesting in the fact that part of what you're saying and what we're talking about is the breath. And maybe that's just because we're talking about that you're just post operation on your lung, which I had no idea would be the source of conversation. Like, so it's
Me
quite,
either.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's all interconnected, and it's quite beautiful in its own way for sure.
Yeah. No, meditation. I've never sat on a
Hmm.
floor and purposely tried to meditate. I've
Right.
never tried that. And it probably is a form of meditation for me when I'm outside The way I see it is, this is how I can explain it. I open up all of my senses. What
Mm-hmm.
can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? What can I taste? What can I feel? All the senses. And then that sixth sense kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, not all the time, but when it does, that's when those experiences are just like, I am so at one with nature right now. I am so
Nice. Yeah.
at one with everything, and a peace that just blankets me is overwhelming.
Exactly. Pure, mindful, present awareness. Exactly. Exactly.
And you just it's like you get so full. You just get
Mm-hmm.
you just get so
Aw.
full, and you just want to
Mm-hmm.
just be like, "Oh my gosh, that was great!" You know. And I just sometimes I sometimes I'll be out in the middle of the field or out in the woods going, thank you so
Nice.
much," just yelling it out because you need those moments to recharge those batteries that
Yeah.
wear out so easy some days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next photo. And 1 second before we do that, promote your book 100%. We have to keep it in the top 100 for the next 6 months, 6 years.
Awesome. Oh, yes. Hey, why not? Pawprints on the couch. Yeah, grab yourself a copy on Amazon, folks. You will need some Kleenex, but you're also going to be smiling and giggling. And if you've been a pet lover or you've had pets in your past, it's going to make you remember them with love. So
Mm. Aw,
it's a lovely, and they're all short reads, 5-minute stories, folks. So it's something you
sweet.
can pick up and put down numerous times. So yeah, it's a lovely gift for someone, actually.
And the links will be in the show notes. So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.